Live from London, this is BBC News. A second convoy of trucks carrying supplies is being checked at the Rafah crossing between Egypt and the Gaza Strip. Israel intensifies its attacks on Hamas in Gaza, issuing a strongly worded warning to Hezbollah in Lebanon.
If Hezbollah decides to enter the war, it will make the mistake of its life. We will strike it with a force it cannot even imagine. And the significance for it and the state of Lebanon will be devastating.
The Archbishop of Canterbury visits Jerusalem and tells the BBC the hope of peace, despite everything, must never be allowed to die. And a major incident's declared and hundreds of homes have been evacuated in large parts of the UK because of flooding caused by Storm Babette. Meanwhile, people in Argentina are voting in the first round of presidential elections. The front runner is far-right candidate Javier Milei. Hello, I'm Rajini Vaidyanathan. The Israeli military's expressed regret for the shelling of an Egyptian position near the border with Gaza by one of its tanks. It said the incident not far from the Rafah crossing was a mistake and would be investigating. Egypt said one of its soldiers suffered minor injuries from shell fragments. All of this happened as checks were carried out on a second convoy of trucks waiting to take humanitarian aid from Egypt to the Gaza Strip. The 17 vehicles at Rafah were being searched to ensure they were carrying only humanitarian aid. 20 vehicles loaded with medicine and food passed through on Saturday, the first since Israel tightened its blockade of the territory more than 2 weeks ago. The Rafah crossing's on the Egyptian border and is the only route not bordering Israel, which means it's currently the only potential way to deliver humanitarian aid into Gaza. In other developments, Iran's foreign minister has accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza and has warned that the situation in the Middle East risks spiralling out of control. Israel's been continuing to carry out aerial bombing of Gaza. It's now just over 2 weeks since the Hamas attacks inside Israel, in which 1,400 people were killed. The health ministry in Gaza says about 4,700 Gazans, mainly civilians, have been killed in Israeli airstrikes there. Israel's military's warned civilians in Gaza to keep moving south for their own safety as it prepares to increase pressure on Hamas, which is designated a terrorist organisation by the UK, US and other Western governments. And a short time ago, the Israeli Defence Forces wrapped up a news conference. Spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari says an Israeli soldier was killed by an anti-tank missile on Sunday during a raid in Gaza. Meanwhile, 3 other soldiers were injured. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has met soldiers at the Israel-Lebanon border. He reiterated his support for the troops in their fight against the Iranian-backed Hezbollah, which, like Hamas, is considered a terrorist organisation by the UK, US and others.
We are